Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you as always by Export Ultra, the beer for here. This is the Agenda podcast for Pinch and a Punch, the 1st of November.
The Agenda podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
And a very good morning to James McOnie.
Oh, morning, Manaia. How's it going? Happy Halloween, Boxing Day.
Yeah, I suppose it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are there any Halloween? There'd be a lot of Halloween sales on right now, wouldn't there?
Yeah, there's Halloween always in my neighbourhood, which is basically your neighbourhood. And I think the code is you got to put out orange balloons. Is that right? Or some kind of paraphernalia.
I did see on the local Facebook community pages people being like, if the house isn't decorated, don't go up there trick-or-treating, which I thought was quite good.
Yeah.
And no one did this year for me, which is good. I'd locked the gate anyway, so...
Well, I did a bit of a gate shut as well because I'm a massive Grinch around Halloween, and but then I looked at my house, and you could mistake some of the flotsam and jetsam for decorations. You know, there's a bit of there's a few things that need to be thrown out that I'm just like, could that look like pretend, sort of spiders' webs and stuff? Yeah, actual spiders' webs.
It looks like a haunted house.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So
there's old man McOnie lives there.
Don't go up there. They say he still lives in there.
Don't go up there. He's only got Turkish Delight and Cherry Ripe. Nobody likes them.
We had a flatmate when I was at uni who would never come and do the flat shop with us. And whenever we went and did it, we'd buy ourselves a chocolate bar each. And every time we'd bring him back a Cherry Ripe.
Oh,
as like a FU for not coming to do the flat shop with us. And he kept saying, no, I love Cherry Ripes. At the end of the year, we went into his room, his top drawer next to his bed, full of Cherry Ripes that we brought him back every flat shop.
But also, in the dark, if he's pulled, it does look like he's got a drawer of condoms as well. It looks like real super safe cherry flavoured
Yeah,
condoms.
well, they were the full candy bar size as well, so I guess the Magnums. McOnie, you won us Game of Two Halves last night.
Did I?
Yes. So if you didn't watch it, we did the Buzz the Burner game, which they did on the original Game of Two Halves, which where you have to text someone and they have to call in. And we did third person to call in wins. You called in first. You were too quick.
Yeah.
Then Paddy Gower called in. Then you called back. It was subsequently the third person, and those are the 3 points we needed to win, basically.
Oh, my goodness. So that was you were with Ross Taylor?
Yes.
And who else was it?
Brody Kane. And she texted Paddy Gower. So you called first, then her one came through.
Man, how much? It was about, the question was, what's the name of the waitress who allegedly poisoned the 1995 All Blacks at Rugby World Cup?
Yeah.
And the answer was Susie.
The answer was Susie. But you had to be the third caller.
And it's kind of one of those things, I definitely think it helps if you're a bit older for that one. You'd know about Susie.
Yeah.
But it still is... 1995, Susie was talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Susie was everywhere.
Did anyone even know who Susie was?
No, I mean, because I work with Josh Cromfeld, this is just a name drop, but it's a fair enough one because he does work for Crowd Goes Wild.
Yeah.
He has said that he thought it was the chicken burgers, and also there was I think it was chicken burgers, and because there's a group of them that all went and just did their own thing and went down to McDonald's. I think it was Frank Bunce, Jonah Lomu, Eric Rush. There's a whole group of them who just didn't get sick. But it was partaking in the old chicken burgers. It looked a bit green.
Yeah, right.
So undercooked chicken, I've been poisoned in South Africa by undercooked chicken
Have
as
you?
well.
Susie got you?
Susie got me in 2010.
Jeez, how?
Do you know what? I was at the breakfast buffet and I could see that they were handling raw chicken as well as toast. It's just a bad combo when they're doing those two things. They're multitasking.
Why? Why did they have chicken and toast?
On the one hand, they're washing a chicken. On the other hand, they're putting the toast in the... I don't know. It just...
Unstuffed.
There's a lot going on. Yeah. And I felt like that's where I pinpointed it to.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have easily got swine flu. Look at me. I feel like... a warthog could have just brushed against me or something like that.
I've had the old salmonella diet before. It was the butter chicken at the food court at the Meridian Centre in Dunedin. That did me. Yeah. Oh, straight away. The sheets hurt. When I was lying in bed the whole week and my sheets hurt. I had to take them off. That's how crook I was.
So yes, congratulations on that. By the way, Brody Kane on Game of Two Halves. Every time She is a freaking encyclopedia, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. It's a strange set of knowledge as well.
Yeah.
Like it's motorsport facts. And then she beat Lisa Carrington at like some sort of surf life-saving event when she was a kid.
Yeah, she was good. I raced her actually once we wanted to swim it. It was a Christmas party for Radio Live, now defunct Radio Live. And I said to Brodie Kane, go on then, I'll race you over to that boat. So we had to run across Cox's Bay Reserve, hop into the water, swim out to the boat. Anyway,
you just about walk out there at Cox's Bay.
Yeah, you could. It was pathetic. But there was a big warning about, poos in the water or something like that. So we couldn't do the swim. We both backed down from that. So it was a straight running race. I beat her.
Yeah, nice.
I beat Brodie Kane.
And so by extension, you're faster than Lisa Carrington.
Exactly. That's right. The goat in the boat.
At least across land.
Yeah, exactly.
McOnie's got a number. The All Blacks team was named yesterday. McOnie, I've taken the liberty of printing you out a copy at the back of your rundown there. But I guess the biggest point would be, one, Beauden Barrett has taken the number 10 jersey off Damian McKenzie.
Yes, I think that's the way it was trending, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When you get sent ahead, on the advanced flight, it's like, who's going to play against England?
Yeah,
you
right.
are. And so... which is pretty cool for someone like Tupou Vaa'i as well, because it's like, hey, you're on that flight too, mate. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
You're one of the first team. So I think it's great that Tupou Vaa'i's kept his spot ahead of Patrick Tuipulotu. That's a big deal for a young type 5 forward.
Yeah, it'd pump his tyres up a bit too.
Yeah, would they?
Take a bit of the pressure off you, because you'd feel like you're going to get cut at any moment.
Yeah.
So it'd be a good little, go mate.
Go on, mate. You're actually he's been bloody good. But, yes, I agree. Beauden is a big talking point. I think Cam Roygaard off the bench, it feels like this could be his tour. It's the comeback tour. He was cutting capers in Japan without putting a sort of a full stop on it. There was one where he just went by himself and it was a massive Hungus move. When they had the big overlap.
Yes. Yeah.
I think he was 2 meters out from the try line and he was going... it was like that. What's that video game where the guy goes, Leroy Johnson, and he just runs off by himself?
Yeah, I think that was one of the Call of Duties or something.
Yeah.
Leroy Jenkins, I think it was, yeah.
Leroy Jenkins. And so he went full Leroy Jenkins by himself when he had about 4 people outside him. And I'm sure the video session, they must have had a group session where they went, fucking Hungus.
You fucking hummer. Pass the ball.
Pass the ball.
I think if he hadn't been out for a year, he probably would have,
Yeah.
But he hasn't played footy in so long. This is obviously a massive vote of confidence in Beauden Barrett as the number 10, because this is I don't know if it's must win, but this is the biggest test that we've had in quite a while.
Yeah.
And so obviously this is the best possible team we can put on the field. What does that mean for D-Mac going forward? Am I reading too far into it?
I feel that D-Mac is feel like D-Mac is a team guy anyway, so he'll take the bench with good attitude.
Yeah.
He knows, I think he realises that he is so important to that team because just the spark he provides is elite, like that. England have got one guy like that, Marcus Smith, right? And so we've got 2 guys like that, and you'd probably put Roygaard in that category as well, just in terms of, spark plug off the bench. So I reckon England will be shitting their pants about D-Mac coming on and cutting capers. They'll have to have a plan for that because everything changes when he's injecting himself into the game. Beauden, though, my feeling about Beauden, I've got very strong feelings.
For and about Beauden.
I reckon he was never given enough of a run in the number 10 jersey, and even though he had these sort of speed wobbles where he didn't play well enough and it was clear Richie Mo'unga was kind of starting to eclipse him, I felt like Beauden was never given the chance to kind of iron those out. Like you have a shaky Lions series like he did, well then surely the next year he's going to go, okay, I've learned from that. Let's go. And own it all the way through to the 2019 World Cup, and he's never really given that chance.
No. Do you think Mackenzie's going through that now a little bit?
Yeah. He needs to actually have all those, those games where you just go, oh, fuck, should have just not thrown the reverse flick pass to a giant prop who needed it right in the breadbasket. All that stuff, eh?
The other one that I thought was interesting is De Groot got dropped, and they asked Razor about it, and he said that he didn't meet internal standards. And then when he was pressed on it, he just kept repeating, we've got our own internal standards, and he didn't meet them. Have you heard anything? What did Groot do? What could he have done?
I mean, I am Groot, one of the great tourists. And he was the one who said in Washington, with all the monuments, including the Washington Monument, it's no brown trout from Gore, you know, like he was, which is just the perfect tourist. I don't know what happened there, but so every now and then Razor, he's quite good with the media in the sense that he'll say stuff, he'll bat things away, and then all of a sudden he'll just go, oh no, we sent him away to do this, and this. Like he said, oh, Summer Penny Fini, I need to go away and put on weight. I'm like, come to my place, mate. I'll show you.
Come down the Razor with me and McOnie on Saturday night.
Yeah, I can. The pork belly at the Razor. Hold the broccoli for you. We'll get you chips. But the thing is, all that sort of stuff, then I'm not sure that you're making it sound like maybe there was a disciplinary thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I immediately go to when you hear that.
Yeah.
Unless maybe it was a fitness thing. But then why wouldn't you just say it was a fitness thing, you know?
Yeah, because I've been to All Blacks trainings, especially the start of tours, start of seasons, where all the naughty kids in terms of fitness are out, and it's always fucking wingers and props, you know? Like the whole time, eh? Like they won't do their homework, you know? And it'll be like just some bloody Charlie Faumuinu and Julian Savia just out there fucking doing Broncos or some sort of shit.
Running suicides.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been that. I don't know, but I just think if that's what it was, why not say, oh, it's just a fitness issue, and then that sort of quells it? Because my conspiratorial mind's like, did he hit the piss? Did he miss his flight? Like, what did he get up to? Wouldn't be surprised if we found something out. How do you think we're going to go against England this weekend?
I think we beat England. I think Ireland and France are the slippery ones.
Yeah.
But the thing is, England have kept improving, but the issue for them is, well, we've had a whole season to work stuff out. They haven't seen Wallace Satiti yet, and he's going to be unleashed. Or he might have come on off the bench. But anyway, he's a revelation. So Caleb Clark as well, after just having this awesome season, we've got this strike winger who I don't think they'll be able to cope with. And again, that bench, I was looking at Almua, Roygaard and DMAC in particular, and Tossi, Pasilio Tossi, coming off the bench. I was like, Tossi looks like he has done his fitness, right?
Yeah.
He's looking slim.
He does. He does. It's actually almost shocking when you see him out on the field. You're like, oh, shit, I didn't. Yeah, okay. Because you remember him or you picture him as the biggest man you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
You're like, there's got a bit of shape about him.
Yeah, Godzilla, you've fucking trimmed down, haven't you, mate?
And no respite either. As Mighty Williams comes off in the 50th, 60th minute, usually as a prop, you're breathing a sigh of relief. No, we got another one.
Yeah, here comes Tossi.
Yeah.
It's like Jurassic Park, where one of the great scenes with the water on the dashboard of the car starts to make little ripples, and you go, "Oh fuck, T-Rex is here." So yes,
England win. England lose. We win.
We win. Sucked in England. We're doing the haka. You can't stop us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What did you think of old Joe Marler? I know he's come out and said, "Oh, he was just a bit of tongue in cheek," so they're having a crack.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's weird. I think. Look, I feel like. Let's call them war dances, are there for all and sundry. And in fact, Australia and South Africa should 100% be doing one.
Yes.
They've fucking missed the boat big time.
Yeah.
Because we know, I've been to those countries, they've got some awesome shit going on in that kind of genre.
Yeah.
So fucking do one.
Yeah.
Whereas England...
Fucking do one.
Whereas England are like, pissing around. I mean, everyone jokes, they're going to do a Morris dance. Well, no, there's other shit. If you want to do one, but no, we don't because we're here to play rugby. Stiff shit, man. We do the haka. And
get the maypole out or shut up.
Yeah, exactly. Bring that pole. If it's a stripper pole, fine. Whatever. Just use any pole you can.
Express yourself.
Yeah,
we'd love to see.
There's goalposts there.
Yeah, that's right.
No one's stopping you from using those.
Yep, run a couple of bloody ribbons.
Streamers. Yeah, ribbons, yes, ribbons.
Fucking Morris dance would be it would actually be the perfect counter to the haka.
Yeah, it would.
Just the most bizarre, it's so lame.
Or a Monty Python dance where they slap the fish on the, but if you slap someone with a fish, I think it would be all on, eh?
Yeah, I think it goes,
it's too much.
Clip-clopping with the coconuts. I don't know. Okay. Look, just quickly before, we're going to take a quick break, but before we do, G Lane has got a hold of the TAB account and he's put today's ACC agenda hunch on. He's gone for the Brazilian Grand Prix and he's gone Liam Lawson for a points finish.
Nice.
At $3, which I thought is pretty good. Like, it's quite short.
He's looking good.
Yes. And he's pissing everyone off.
He's flipping the bird. I didn't realise it was his teammate that he flipped the bird to.
Yeah.
Perez. Or is it a...
It's not his teammate. There's like 2 Red Bull teams.
Oh, sorry.
So it's the other Red Bull team.
Right.
But I mean, I guess that's...
No. Yeah, you're quite right. That's right, the other Red Bull team. But yeah, it is kind of... I guess they're related, aren't they?
Yeah. Well,
it's like... I mean, you're definitely going to see them quite close in the pits, aren't you? You're not going to be totally separated. So.
It's like me flipping off Jason Hoyt while he's doing his drive show.
Yeah, exactly, which you do frequently.
Which I do every day on my way out of the building. You know, we're going to come across each other in pit lane at some point, and it's on. Jason Hoyt, I hope you're listening to this. All right, quick break. We'll come back and talk a little bit of NRL. All right, we're back from the first of our paid O-breaks. Have you seen that story about the company offering O-breaks?
Oh, yes.
It's a sex toy company offering...
That's quite good, isn't it?
Orgasm break. So McOnie and I have just had an O-break.
Yeah.
Separate. But maybe the next one will be joined. The NRL, it's 1st of November, as I said, pinch and punch. And it kind of almost feels like they're starting to get a bit of a off-season free agency thing going in the NRL. So what's happened is basically if your contract, the contracts are up until October 31st, so there's a lot of players who are off contract. There's also the first day that you're allowed to talk to other clubs officially if you are on contract, but I know there's a lot of like backroom shit that goes on. So that's why you're seeing a lot of headlines around player movement in the NRL. I feel like I've always complained about the way players move in the NRL. Like there'll be a player who's like, oh yeah, I'm leaving after the season, like we just had with Adam Fanua-Blake.
Yeah.
And then for the whole season, you've got to sit there and be like, yeah, but he's fucking off at the end of the year, you know? They need some sort of trade window, free agency situation.
That's always been the weirdest thing in the NRL, is a guy announcing that he's leaving, and then it's just 6 or maybe 4 months of just weirdness, awkwardness, and then hoping that they that there might be a playoff run, but probably in their heart of hearts, they're like thinking, actually, I'd like a proper off-season before I have to go and run on other sand dunes somewhere around the...
That's a good point.
You know, like how do they get proper? Do they? I mean, delivering a title to your old team, I guess that would be still cool. But your mind's elsewhere. You're looking on realestate.com.au for your new digs. Everything is
trying to find a home for your dogs. You don't have to take it back to Australia with you.
All of that. It's expensive, to take a dog over there.
Yeah. Although you think you could afford it if you were the number one paid prop in the league. Anyway.
Well, yes. But anyway, that's by the by. The fact that when James Fisher-Harris was signed, I just remember thinking, oh shit, that's actually good. I didn't think we were going to get anyone anywhere near as good as Adam Fanua-Blake, but we've done that.
Yeah, we have done that. That's exactly it. But yeah, so it's all very confusing, but a lot of players changing teams. Obviously, yesterday, just after we finished recording, the Warriors signed Tanner Boyd, and there were 2 reactions that I've seen to this.
From Gold Coast Titans?
From the Gold Coast Titans. The first reaction was, who? And the second reaction was, do we need that? So Tanner Boyd, if you don't know who he is, he plays for the Titans. He's a half that can cover hooker as well.
Right. Kiwi, Aussie?
He's an Aussie as far as I know, but I also thought Phoenix Crossland was an Aussie, and turns out he's a Kiwi.
Yeah, he's proper Kiwi, Wellington, yeah.
Yeah, so as far as I know, he's Australian. But I guess the confusing part is we also signed Aaron Clark from the Titans, who's a hooker / lock. We've basically pillaged their bench. Is now our bench.
So that hooker / loose forward, is it?
Aaron Clark.
Is that a panic buy after Jazz Tavanga left or something like that?
It did kind of seem like that. It is a bit of a much for muchness sort of thing, but I really don't know where Tanner Boyd fits into the Warriors thing. Like, he's not going to be one of our starting halves. He won't be our starting hooker. I guess it's injury cover for if Wade Egan gets his dome rattled again. But there's been a few more interesting headlines out of the NRL in the last 24 hours. The main one is, and everyone knew this, but Josh Addo-Carr has officially been sacked by the Bulldogs.
What for this time?
Josh Addo lines in the car, got done tested positive for cocaine at a roadside drug test over there in Australia. And the NRL handed him a 4-match suspension, but the Bulldogs said because of a lack of transparency, i.e. he wouldn't talk to them about what had happened, what hadn't happened, there's a chance he probably tried to cover it up, and they've said, so we're going to bin you. I tell you what, if there's a team that needs a winger with out-and-out speed, it is the One New Zealand Warriors.
Yeah, exactly. We don't mind, mate. Come over here. Yeah. We'll give you an Uber account or something. The thing with I wonder if you were stopped by that Aussie Checkpoint TV show. Have you seen that where they blow in the bag and then the light you don't know is it going to go over the limit? It goes and you're waiting, and sometimes they'll cut to an ad and you go, no, you bastards, because there's some bloody bogan in his singlet just waiting and just saying, nah, mate, I've only had a couple. I'm absolutely fine. What are you talking about? And you're going, nah, you're not. And then he blows in the bag, and it's like, actually, he is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I can't believe that because his speech was slurred and everything. And so I'm just wondering, I was hoping that Josh Adokar was caught on that show.
That would have been great. Yeah, it's one of my favourite clips on social media. I laugh until I cry every time I see it. It's this guy wasted. His eyes are rolling in the back of his head, and it's the he's just like on the brink of passing out. And then it comes up green, and he's fine.
He's fine. Exactly. What the hell? Like, sometimes the machine explodes, eh? The ones who carry it, who hide it well, are the old boys, eh? You know?
Yeah.
And an old Commodore, you know, the Commodore Calais or something like that.
Yeah.
And you think, they're all right. And it's like, no, he's fucking 80% whiskey.
Have you seen the guy that drives around our neighbourhood on a Parramatta Eels bike thing?
Where?
He goes up and down to the RSA.
Oh, in our neighbourhood?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like decked out in Parramatta Eels kit. Anyway, I think that a lot of those mobility scooters for those old guys are to get away from the drink driving, because you can't get done on the sidewalk.
Can you not on a mobility scooter? Well, they must find... You can't... I mean, this is a good question.
They're not going to pull you over, but yeah.
But if they saw you weaving around on your mobility scooter, some of them end up on the road, you know. Like
I think then you could get done.
They go fucking rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost got hit by a bike on the footpath today, and there's so many cycle lanes in central Auckland. I was like, what the fuck? There's one right over there. And this guy had a little crate on the front. Have you seen him around, the crate guy?
No, I haven't seen crate guy.
I think he has the crate in case he sees bits and pieces on the side of the road to pick up. Yeah. He's anyway.
He's just about cleaned you up.
So who else are we getting? The Wahs?
Oh, so the Wahs, we are getting Aaron Clark, who's a son of Temepara Clark George.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Temepara George these days.
Yeah.
Clark. Anyway, that's, and he's been with the Warriors before. I think she presented him his jersey when he first played.
Awesome.
So he's coming back, and then Tanner Boyd, obviously James Fisher-Harris as well. But we've lost Marcelo Montoya.
Yes,
so
we have.
So we're down a winger, so we could probably do with Josh Addo lines in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone Thompson, who's the brother of Leo Thompson.
Chiefs Mana.
Plays for your Chiefs Mana. He's heading over, he's leaving the Chiefs. He's going to join his brother at the Knights.
It's a beautiful sort of fairy tale story, this one, because I feel like Tyrone is an exact, what would you call a description of a rugby player who was always between 3 or 4 positions. He wasn't a perfect hooker. He could have played loose forward, but probably not, I don't know, just he wasn't, say, big enough or
all hookers
or rapid, or you know what I mean? Like there's that thing where you go, yeah, all hookers are that guy.
Yeah, all hookers are loose forwards that never grow.
True. And so you go, okay, this is actually good for him. League solves that problem, and I feel like there's a lot of small guys in Union. Like there's a guy, what's his name? Is it Jared Cook-Savage? You know, he's a combination of Captain Cook's First Landing. It's like he is the guy who's little and buzzes around the NPC, looks kind of good, but in an NRL team, he could because they've got those little spots for a fullback or a impact hooker or whatever, you know, like, and there's 2 halves who are generally
quite small.
You're quite small, so there's at least 4 positions out there in league that you can fill.
League players are deceptively small.
Yeah,
when you see them out in the wild, you're like, oh shit, he's actually quite small. I reckon it's why Benji couldn't transfer to rugby union.
Yeah,
he was a little bit too small for a first 5, and he wasn't really a first 5. No natural position for him.
No, exactly. He did it the other way. Whereas I always look at even Justin Marshall. He was a really good halfback, but you know, in league it would have been because he was so combative and stuff.
Yeah,
and he could have probably been a really good hooker in league. Same with TJ Perenara.
Yeah,
he's been eclipsed by those young guys, but he always seemed to me like he probably could have made the move. And
Jimmy Cowan.
Yeah, well, yeah, he would have loved the the afters. He would have loved the parties on the Goldie, I reckon, Jimmy Cowan.
I think he's a power diver down there in Invercargill now.
Is he?
Or in Bluff, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Could never get a hold of him. Doesn't have his phone on him when he's down there under the water. The other one that really caught my eye is Terrell May. So he is you may not have heard of him. He's a prop for the Roosters, who just lost Jared Waerea-Hargreaves, Kiwi as well. Terrell May's been dropped by the Roosters. This sort of came out of nowhere. Now his brother is the one who got May tattooed across his throat. Do you remember seeing that picture? So Tyrone was his name. He played for was he Tyrone? Yeah. He played for the Panthers. He got May tattooed across his throat. Then he filmed himself doing about 100 and something Ks past the school in a rented supercar.
Oh, shit.
Got his contract torn up. Terrell May is was one of the guys in the video with Brandon Smith earlier this year.
Oh, no.
Yeah. When they were all in the hotel room.
So what's happened to him?
Don't know. But so they've just torn his contract up. The thing is, he's had a breakout season. They just signed him to a 2-year extension.
Yeah.
And they just lost another one of their props. Then they drop him. Something's going on there.
He sounds like the perfect fodder for that NRL 360.
Exactly.
Because they would love to talk about all the drama of a young prop doing naughty things. They're never going to talk about the drama of a senior official at a club or maybe a club owner, but they will bloody wail on any young player with a neck tattoo. They are in, in. Whereas it's quite funny because everyone goes, that's such a hard-hitting show. And I go, yeah, not for the top brass. Like, they don't seem to talk about, dodgy little payments and paper bags full of money and how because that apparently happens a lot in the NRL.
Yeah.
And you think they don't know about it? Of course they know.
Exactly.
But if they brought that fucking house of cards down, then then either, I don't know, they'll end up like swimming with the fishes or there'll be no NRL 360 because those guys are so powerful. Yeah. They'll be like, that show is getting taken off the air now.
That's right. And if our show isn't back on Monday, you'll know what's happened.
Because I'm talking about paper bag payments by a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two clubs really stick out.
They are. We've mentioned one.
One of them's, and the other one's had some titles stripped off them for exactly that. Clint Gutherson's leaving the Eels as well. I can't picture Gutho in a different jersey. He is the Eels.
Fuck, where's he going?
Well, the Dragons, so the Eels have picked up Zach Lomax.
Right.
So
my God, what a signing.
So presumably the Dragons are going to use that money to sign Gutho, so it's basically a trade. But again, if there was a trade window, this would have been so much more exciting if this was a trade.
Yes.
We'd be so excited about that.
Yeah, I know.
Check it out. I've traded them.
Didn't the West Tigers have signed someone big? And
Jerome Luai?
Yes, Jerome Luai.
Yeah.
So that is really cool because Luai going to work under Benji Marshall is exciting. But they've also got that absolute superstar in the making who's 18 years old and Lockie Galvin. So just having those guys there, can people just leave the West Tigers? I've got a bit of a soft spot for them because of Gary Freeman and all the the Kiwis, Olsen Filipina, who played there. But
leave Brittany alone.
Because the Roosters, they took Tedesco. The Storm took Pappenhausen from under their noses. Can they just leave these two there and see what they can do?
Yeah, the Melbourne Storm even gave Harry Grant to the Tigers, and then we're like, oh, no, hang on, actually, we'll have him back because he's mean. And the other one that I wanted to mention was Bunty Afoa. He is leaving the NRL, going over to the Super League. And I feel like not enough was made of Bunty Afoa being told he could leave the Warriors.
Yes, what a legend he's been for the club. That iconic hair, the whole thing is like... so he's going.
Bit unceremonious, to be fair.
How old is he? Because he always seemed forever young.
He is. Jess the Pest went to high school with him, so that's how old he is.
Oh, wow.
He might not even be 30 yet.
No, he's young.
Yeah, very young. He may be back yet. And this is probably something that I should discuss with Matt Heath when he's back on next week, but the Dodgers won the World Series. Do we care?
Yes, we do care, but just before we move on to the Dodgers, you talked about the Warriors needing a winger, so Micah Sevo apparently is on the market, but is he looking at rugby or something?
I think he's looking at Super League.
Right.
Because
he could make so much money in rugby.
He could, and they could probably do with him He'd probably walk into the Wallabies, to be fair.
Easy.
The state that they're in.
Yeah.
I was also thinking, fuck, imagine if you're a winger and you play for Hull or Huddersfield or Wigan or something, and you got to go out there on the frozen tundra and face Micah Sivo.
Oh, man.
Fuck that.
Because he could do a Rad Raja and end up, playing for Fiji and all that sort of stuff if he wanted to. But
Toulon.
And let's do a Toulon deal.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, yes, Dodgers.
How do we feel about it? We're excited. I know Matt Heath's been talking about nothing but the Dodgers.
Yes, I've got a couple of mates who love the Dodgers. Matt Heath is one. Nathan Rarity is another mad keen Dodgers fan. I'm kind of like, I'm semi-Dodgers, I've got a bit of a semi for them. I think that there's stuff to like, but then they keep on spending, and so I feel like they're a bit like Manchester United in the old days, where you just like any good player just ends up
on the Dodgers. Yeah. Felt that way with because they got it Otani.
Yeah, Otani. When they did that deal, it was like, I see what you've done there.
Yeah, the salary sombrero.
So, yes, I think it's cool. Apparently, like I listened to, I won't say we don't promote other podcasts, but I listened to an American one where they were going, remember when people cared about baseball? Remember when they were honking their horns when someone won a World Series and blah, blah, blah? So it feels... Yeah, no, it's not Bill. No, Dan Le Batard.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, it was. It's like they're kind of a little bit miffed, or underwhelmed by the whole thing.
But this is, maybe it's just because I've been talking to Heath a lot, but this seems to be the most well-supported World Series I can remember.
Well, you had the two powerhouses, right? There's no bigger names in the sport than Dodgers and Yankees, right? So,
and everyone's got one of the hats.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Which one goes better? I feel like New York Yankees sells more hats, but LA still makes a decent splash.
It'd be 1A, 1B. I got a New York Yankees hat somewhere in my closet.
Yeah, my sister bought me the pinstripe hat back in the 90s, and I thrashed the shit out of that till it was threadbare.
Yeah.
A great cap, but I've still got so much abuse from Americans because for no reason. It's like...
Because you don't know anything about the team, or...?
Just because they hate the Yankees.
Oh, right.
Like, you don't realise it is really just a lightning rod for abuse. Whereas I wore a Cleveland Browns jersey once, and they over in America, and they're like every American's second favourite team. Oh, Brownies! Like this. And I was like, oh yeah, it's quite good. And the same with a Georgia Bulldogs shirt. Of like, you just go Dogs, and you just get that from people yelling across the street. So it's just like that's an American thing, really. They acknowledge the team that you're wearing or supporting, and as a Kiwi, like I've got a Dodgers shirt. I got a free freaking hot dog from some guy in LA because I had my Dodgers shirt on. I didn't even realize because it just said Los Angeles, and I went, oh yeah, of course it's a Dodgers shirt.
But in New Zealand, no one would mention anything.
No one would say anything.
Although I do think if you're wearing Warriors kit and another guy in Warriors kit, particularly on game day, they'll have a yarn to you.
I think so too. I think that's actually where it's changed. Like, I think Wahs merch has become a big up the Wahs when you see. And I saw someone in airport security overseas, and I said up the Wahs to them, and he wasn't that excited at all. He's like, oh yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, come on, mate.
We're overseas.
And I'm upping the Wahs. You're wearing Wahs. Can we have a little fist bump?
Let's go on. He's probably just got off a 17-hour flight. He's like, I just want to fucking have a shower.
He's over it.
We've been talking about selling our ute on Auto Trader, McOnie, and we're finally doing it. The auction went live overnight. Right. I know who's leading the bidding, and that's because it's me. I'm trying to buy this fucking thing.
Are you?
Yeah. All the
Why do you want to buy it?
I love this ute. I've bonded with it, and I've been saying this whole time it's been a massive own goal because it was my idea to sell it. I was like, look, Auto Trader want you to tell New Zealand about your car. I was like, we've got a car, let's sell it. And then I was like, why the fuck did you say that? Because I drive it most of the time.
So Auto Trader are doing auctions a bit like Trade Me Now, is that right?
Yeah, basically, that's the go. And so this is actually the first car that Auto Trader are selling by auction. Is the Alternative Commentary Collective's 1998 Ford Falcon Ute. We've done it up because all of the proceeds go to Movember NZ, and you can bid on that bad boy right now, but you will be going head-to-head with me. If you place the winning bid, a bunch of people have gotten on board with us, so we've loaded the glove box with $1,000 worth of petrol vouchers, $1,000 worth of grocery vouchers. We've got an iPhone 16 a Marshall Amp beer fridge as well dropped into the tray. So
holy shit! I'm going to start bidding. Sorry, text what? Sorry, I interrupted your read.
No. Text Ute to 3236 for a direct link to the Auto Trader listing. And while you're there, tell New Zealand about your car. It's so easy to sign up for an account there as well. I did it this morning, and straight away I'm into the bidding war.
What's the bidding at the moment?
Before we walked in here, it was, I think, somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500. So it's very early doors.
And when does it shut?
Runs for the whole month. So I will be outbid by someone at some point.
Because it is a bit of a classic, that Ute.
It's so sick. Like when people, particularly dudes, they'll come over and be like, "This is sick. What year is it? Is it 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder, whatever, blah, blah, blah." And it used to have your face on it, which stopped people in their tracks.
Yeah.
We've done it up now, so it doesn't have everyone's face on it. Or Storm Purvis's face was over the petrol cap.
Yeah, that's right. And then every time you put petrol in, you were putting something in Storm's mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when we did burnouts in it, there was petrol coming out of the cap. It was like coming out of Storm's eyes. It's like she was crying.
But also, Storm Purvis has only done, I think, 2 podcasts, maybe a little bit of commentary for the ACC.
What do I got to do?
Exactly.
I couldn't get on the petrol cap?
Where's my face? Do you know what? I checked. Speaking of things that are for sale, the ACC Almanac is. I've had a lot of people saying, I want to get that as a Christmas gift for the this person, that person. Can you sign it? When they first told me about it, I thought they were talking about like a cricket almanac or a sports. Yeah. I bet there was some New Zealand sports almanac out, and I went, "Why do you want me to sign it? Get someone who actually plays sport." And they said, "No, you're actually on the cover. It's the fucking ACC almanac." And I went, "Oh shit, okay, well, yeah, I guess so." But then I thought, I'm going to check and see, because I wrote a chapter for Dylan Cleaver. He was on deadline. He was absolutely shitting his pants. It was about 2 days before he had to hand in his manuscript, and he goes, "I need something on, everyone's doing it. You've got a chapter on how to streak, is it?"
Yep, how to streak, and also the signs that you're a Warriors diehard fan.
Yeah. Did you write those yourself?
That was ghostwritten by my dad.
Nice.
Who comes up every time you're on this podcast. We talk about my dad. But
so Stu's a good writer.
Stu's a good writer. A few spelling mistakes.
But he's still got the gift of the quill. And so I think Dylan, he goes, "It's okay, mate. You can we can do an interview now. I'll turn on the dictaphone and I'll just take some notes." And I went, "Mate, just leave it with me. I'll write you something." And because I could tell, it was Dylan Cleaver under pressure. Dylan Cleaver, he's like, "I've got this bloody book I've got to write." And then I went, "It's all right. I'll write you a chapter." But then I thought, is he going to credit me with that chapter, given that I wrote it with my own bare hands? And he did.
Oh.
Well, it does say in the book, James McOnie's Guide to blah, blah, blah. But I do notice your 2 chapters have no mention of your father.
No. I probably shouldn't have said it on this podcast. This will get back to him. He'll be hitting me up for funds.
For some royalties.
Yeah. Well, look, if it makes him feel any better, I haven't seen a fucking cent of it either. But you can go and buy them.
$40 or something, is it?
Yeah, I think it's $40. So go on to the ACC website and order your copy now. All right, I think we need to take a quick break, and when we come back, let's get Jason Pine on to preview this Kiwi football derby.
Juicy.
Oh, well, it's a great honour and privilege to join, what I consider to be the voice of the round ball here in New Zealand, McOnie.
Absolutely, the doyen, the youngest doyen ever. It's Jason Pine.
Yeah, good morning, Piney. How you going?
Yeah, good, thanks. I feel like doyen, suggests a community elder of some sort, but that's okay.
It does.
You've just risen to power really young, like Justin Trudeau in Canada, really. I think it's just one of those ones where, who's that handsome devil who's now in charge?
Who's that handsome doyen?
Yeah.
Are you fired up for this weekend's derby, Piney? Does it feel like a derby to you?
Absolutely, it does. I'm utterly fired up for it, totally fizzed for it. In the capital, it feels like the start of a pretty special weekend. The Auckland FC fans, some of them have already hit town. I've seen a few blue and black replica shirts around here this morning. Lots of yellow, though, as well. David Dome has been encouraging Wellingtonians to wear yellow today, and that certainly has happened too. But, yeah, it does feel like a derby. When you consider the Phoenix's only derbies up till now have been distance derbies, which, I mean, I don't even know if that's a thing.
No.
You play Perth, and that's a derby? I don't think so. This feels like one, absolutely.
The interesting part to me is how quickly this rivalry has come about. Like, before the Auckland FC were even kicked their first ball, there was a rivalry. The Phoenix fans were pissed off about it. This could only be good for the Knicks, though, can't it? Like, doesn't a rivalry make football more enjoyable for the Yellow Fever fans? Absolutely
it does. And you know, the hype around it and the fandom and the rivalry and all of that stuff, absolutely it does. I mean, what happens on the grass is going to be, we hope anyway, great. But yeah, this is an occasion for the fans, I believe. The active support of Auckland FC, the Port as they're known, and Yellow Fever, who are well established, obviously, in New Zealand, you know, fan circles. It'll be such a great occasion. I mean, the first two games for Auckland FC at Mount Smart have been absolutely terrific because of the fans in the stands. They've brought the energy and the hype to these occasions, and that's what they've been. And it'll be the same tomorrow. At Sky Stadium, it'll be exactly the same. We're expecting kind of 25,000 to turn up, so big crowd, a lot of colour, a lot of noise. I think it'll be terrific.
Now, look, yes, that's all good in theory, Piney, but let's be honest, the arrival of the Black Knights has ruffled some Phoenix feathers, hasn't it? And I think when you talk to maybe their support staff, management, the fact they flew a plane over Mount Smart Stadium saying New Zealand is yellow, what's really going on at Phoenix HQ?
Oh no, I think they're embracing it. Look, I think they look, you don't mind the banter going back and forth. It's normally the fans, but yeah, it seems as though some of those employed in the plush mahogany offices of both the clubs have also got involved. Yeah, planes flying over and a bit of banter back and forth. Media releases with, I think David Dome referred to Auckland to Auckland FC as Auckland 3.0. You know, obviously referencing the failed New Zealand Knights and Football Kings. You know, I think the only ones really who seem unaffected by it all are the players. You know, you talk to them about it and they're doing their best to downplay the occasion. I think they'll relish it. They all want to play in big games. This is a big game. So I think the players are probably the ones who are least affected by it all. They just want to get out there and play the game.
Yeah, you're right about Auckland fans just want, like, the 3.0 thing. I've talked to a few people who miss the Kings and the Knights days, and I couldn't wrap my head around why there was such a big fandom for Auckland FC before they ever played a game. I couldn't understand it, and I think when I went to the game, I realised these are just football fans that wanted a local team to support, you know, so they already had their songs ready, and it could have been about anything, but they just wanted a football team to get in behind. So I completely understand the fandom part of it, but what I don't understand is the X's and O's. I see that both at the top of the table, Piney. How do you see this one playing out on the field?
I think it'll be pretty tight. Auckland have been good. They've two wins from two games. Can't do better than that. Haven't let a goal in yet. They haven't, they've been good without being absolutely magnificent. I think they'll need a bit more of a cutting edge. Their 3 goals, an own goal, a back heel from a centre-back in the 97th minute, and Logan Rogerson's nice finish. So it's not as though they've really set the world on fire in an attacking sense. Wellington are a good defensive team. They've quietly gone about their business. They probably should have won their first game. They won in Perth last weekend. They probably should both have 2 from 2. Look, I think, often with these things, guys, as you know, you hype them up and you say this is going to be a great occasion. I don't think this is going to be a 4-3. I don't think it's going to be goal-laden. It might just be decided by one moment of brilliance or perhaps an error. I think it'll be a pretty cagey affair. But what you hope is that there are storylines in the game which live up to what the occasion should be. I'm curious to see how Alex Paulson handles himself.
Oh, yeah.
We all know the story behind Alex Paulson, his departure from the Phoenix over to Bournemouth, but now back to Auckland FC. So the fans that used to cheer and revere him will be giving him a slightly different kind of reception tomorrow. But, yeah, again, as I said before, I think these are the games that players want to be involved in. Big crowd, big occasion. I hope it lives up to it, but I get the feeling it might just be a 1-0.
Yeah, well, Piney, there's two factors I think really help, apart from obviously the home crowd and the history that the Phoenix have got. I think their coach, Chiefy, Giancarlo Italiano, I think he's a bit of a genius, that guy. And also they've got the senior pro in Costa Barbarouses who's playing with a freedom that I've never seen before. I mean, he walks out on the field with his holding the hands of his daughters. I mean, there's just, how do you compete with that? That is just a guy who's like, yeah, it's a family day out. And by the way, I'm going to play football for 90 minutes. Just and then I'll be back with you guys. I mean, he to me is pure X factor at the moment. Yeah, and we're hearing tomorrow that he might be joined by Marco Rojas, who we haven't seen yet this season. So a Rojas-Barbarouses partnership is something to get the fans excited. But you're right about Costa. You know, a year or a couple of years ago, there was a suggestion that, you know, he might be on the way out. His career was coming to an end and he might just sort of wander off into the sunset holding his daughter's hands and not be seen again. He's had, you know, something of a renaissance at the back end of his career, back in the All Whites now, determined to play at the World Cup in 2026. Wellington's best player last season and, yeah, a real X-factor guy. So, yeah, Costa will be well and truly up for this one. And you wonder, don't you, whether, you know, the fact he's got so much else going on in his life with a couple of young daughters who don't care about the result really. They just want to hold their dad's hand when they walk out. You wonder whether the balance he's got in his life has actually been very positive for his football. If you were a betting man, Piney, how would you view this weekend's game? I think Wellington will win it narrowly. I think Wellington will win it 1-0. Okay. Okay, Piney, should we do a Piney bet your bet? A Piney hunch? Yeah, a Piney hunch. Yeah, I don't mind that. Oh, okay, it's good. We'll see if there's some spare change floating around in the ACC TAB account. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much for your time this morning, Piney, and enjoy the game this weekend. Great to chat, boys. Thanks, heaps. Thanks, mate. Save your tonsils, Piney. It's a big game. Save those tonsils. Whole nation tuned in.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.